Welcome back to Online Darts. We're here in Bournemouth and we've got the hometown hero himself, Mr. Scot Mitchell. Scott, you just loved every minute of that, haven't you?
Every time I play here, it feels like a homecoming. It's taken a long time. You know, the Premier League went a few years ago, and to have big time darts here is exceptional, and we can't thank ZH Live enough for having us here.
It's been a while since we've seen you. How's life? How's tricks? How's the game? What's been going on in the world of Scot Mitchell?
Yeah, I've had a couple of health issues in 2025, but nothing major. Tried to play my way through them, and probably with some success at times and not so at the others. And we're through there, and 2026 is a new year, and hopefully we can start performing like I did out there against Danny and doing the business.
Those health concerns now behind you. You're in the home stretch and everything good?
Yeah, they weren't major stuff, you know, but it was just stuff that you were backwards and forwards to the hospital, and it knocked me for six a little bit because you know I'm 55, but we're all getting older, and it's a young man's game. I'm sat in there next to Luke, and it's kind of reminded to you, but some of us old guys have still got a little bit. So I've been playing better in the last couple of months. That's no two ways about it.
Do you believe you can get back to those levels and perhaps even better levels than what we've seen from you?
Yeah, obviously I've changed dart sponsors since back in the day, and Cosmo are doing everything they can to help me out. So I think I can get back there. There's no two ways about it. Signs of tonight, and last night I played really well as well with Josh. So why not? Why can't I?
It's like things like tonight. Has that relit that fire within Scotty Dog?
To hit that double then against Danny Noppert was harder than hitting the double to win the World Championship, because it's in my hometown, and I've got people in the crowd here that were with me at a nursery school at 3 years old, and I'm 55 years old, and we've been friends forever, and I can see them screaming at me, and the veins are popping out of their neck. So to be in your hometown, when everybody says on the Premier League, oh, he's in his hometown, it makes it easier, I don't think it does. I think it makes it a lot more difficult.
It's hard to believe that world title was over 10 years ago. No, when you look back, where have those 10 years gone?
Yeah, exactly. I probably gave it a good go for a couple of years after that, and then there was kind of nursing my mum through cancer until she passed away, and then when she passed away, then there was my dad. So he had COPD, and we nursed him through that. So probably until 2019, I wasn't able to give it a really good go, and then I made the semi-finals at the last BDO, and was a bit unlucky there as well. So and then I got my sort of chance and was top of the Challenge Tour in 2020, and everything fell right. So COVID hit at the right time, so I was in all the Pro Tours in 2020, and then I got my card in 21. And then you lose it in 22 by a few quid, and you're number 66 and not 64, and you think, Where's my place in darts now? Where is it? Where does it relate for me and the family? So, there's been a few years where it kind of is. You know, I've done everything. I've been around and had those only 3 weekends off in a year, and it was nice to kind of slow down a little, but still be playing okay. And then, we're back where we need to be, I think, and I'm very close to being the Scot that I was.
Where do you see your darting future in terms of organisations?
I'm not going to lie. I'd love to have another go at the Pro Tours, but it's got to be right. Everything's got to line up right. You've got to have the sponsors in place, and I've got some great sponsors at the minute who have stuck by me through thick and thin. I'm one of those players who doesn't rotate sponsors quickly. They seem to stay with me and stay with me and stay with me, and I'm very, very lucky that's been part of my darting life, and I think that's part of the way that I am as a person. So if you can maintain your honesty, I think the game comes to you as well and good as it should.
Where do you see? I know you say the Pro Tour, but to get back there, obviously you need to play to a good level to get yourselves ready. So do you see yourselves playing in the Super Series again to maybe see some WDF? What does the pathway look?
Look, very much. I'm a big fan of the Super Series, and if the Super Series was around when I was younger, I think I'd have developed even quicker. You know, we've talked about the Super Series, guys getting sort of like 25 games a week on telly, and that was taking me 5 and 6 years to do. So the Super Series And it's no word of a lie. The reason why people are going on and then getting tour cards, you watch them at the Super Series and go, how can this guy not get a card? He's great on telly. He's great in front of the camera. And that's what's been happening. So the Super Series is a big part for me. Obviously commentary as well.
Yeah.
I've developed myself as a better commentator alongside the people at the Super Series who have guided me, and they don't point the finger at you. They just guide you. You know, the likes of Chris Murphy and Henry Deacon and Paul Nicholson, and Mace was back there as well. And it's kind of, you kind of watch these guys and you develop your own craft and the way that you do it. So I'm really fortunate to have those guys behind me and supporting me. And I'm sort of dabbling at the two at the moment.
When you lost your tour card, everyone just assumed that Scott Mitchell would just slot back into that BDO, WDF circuit because you were one of the stalwarts and believers of that system. How come that hasn't happened? Because it seemed the natural thing to do.
It did seem the natural thing to do, but I think when you've been playing at kind of close to the top end as you can get for 18 or 19 years, there's a point where, you know, I've been sat at home going, what do I do this weekend? It kind of, you know, it's been that pace for so many years. So for me, it was fairly easy to go, I'm just gonna go to where I want to go, and not do the things that I don't enjoy. So that's been the last couple of years, and now I'm back doing the things that I know my game's there. I know my game's there, and it's just you've got to put yourself in the situation to see whether it's there for permanent or not, and so I continue to try and put myself in that situation. Just
going off of what you said there, things that you don't enjoy, I'm guessing in that enjoyment of traipsing around trying to get ranking points, is that not something that is on the cards anymore?
Not really, no. I think the way that I love the WDF system, and it's creating new players as well as the Motor Super Series is, but for me, when I've kind of done that and been there, and so I like to duck in and out. You'll see me more from probably the rest of the year, just ducking in and out and having a little play at it, because I feel that I'm kind of back to enjoying the game again. And like I say, tonight in your hometown and when you first came on that stage, although I have beat Tim Vine in the pavilion, but it doesn't kind of feel the same. Sorry, Tim, if you're watching. But yeah, you know, it's one of those. I'm back enjoying it again. I'm you know, my sponsors are here and they're doing what they can for me, and so if I'm enjoying it, a happy Scot is a better Scot.
Going to see you on some ADC vaults and perhaps the ADC tour as well?
I'm enjoying the ADC vaults. That's probably the turning point. I've played at the vaults in my little local town of Christchurch where I went to school, and a little pub called the Sandpiper, and I'm playing there against the likes of Jaden Walker.
Yeah.
And Jaden, I've been giving him dartballs since he was 4 years old, and now he's beating me in finals at the vaults. So the vaults have their place. I'm going back to the start. I know where I am. I need to go back to the start. I need to learn it all again, and the vaults is a big part of that.
It's interesting. I like this version of Scott Mitchell. You said they've been in there with Luke Littler. How much of inspiration is he even to a man of your age?
Well, Luke asked me for a selfie first. I never asked him for one. So we've known each other since he was about 13 years old, and I watched the way that he does things, and I kind of had a little comment last week about what happened and lost about 2,000 followers on Twitter, probably all Dutch. But look, I think that we're still forgetting he's only 19 years old. And when I was 19, I was in the pub getting my guns out, and somebody said something wrong to me. I was sorting it out. So Luke's not doing that. Yeah, there's still things to learn for him, but he's an amazing talent, and people have got to remember that he is only 19, and what he's done for the game in the last 2 years, it's unprecedented. We probably haven't seen it since the Bristow era. Probably then the Taylor era came along, and now we're in the Littler area, and we've got to support that. You've only got to look at the way that we've gone from like 18 or 20 academies in the country to well up over 60. You know, we've got to give him credit. It's very easy to poke him with a stick when he does something wrong, when he's a young kid. But you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that. He's done more good than he'll ever do bad.
Touched on, obviously, things that are happening and things are moving on. I'll get your opinion on the WDF Masters moving to Las Vegas. Fan or not a fan?
I think it's a good thing. I think that the WDF are in a situation where if there's a place for it to go, it has to go. We've been to Hungary the last few years. We've got to now work it out as a nation that we've had it easy for the last 30-odd years. It's only been up the road and we've had to drive a car and get a hotel. Now we've got to put a flight on that and take some days off of work. It's been confirmed for 3 years and lots of people are criticising it. But for me, I think, is there a better place to play it at the minute? I'm not sure. I think it's high profile, it's big. Obviously, the sort of North Americans and the Americans are going to really like it, and they've not had the opportunity, some of those players, to come over to the UK or come over to Hungary because of funding and whatever. They've got their chance now. It's there for 3 years, so are we going to see new faces and new names? I think we will.
I agree long term, but short term, was it a mistake in terms of the timing, like the distance that people have got to go and prepare? Both defending champions have already said they're not going to be there. One of them's box office in Mitchell Lowry. And then your point on the North Americans, it clashing with a CDC weekend when they're all targeting bigger things within the PDC because of that system. So short term, is it going to be pain for long term gain?
I think the way that it's worked, the way that darts is now, there are so many opportunities for everybody. And I don't think with only 52 weeks in the year, there is any way not to clash. I don't think there is. There's no way that you're not going to clash with County, you're not going to clash with ADC, you're not going to clash with PDC Challenge Tours. There are so many opportunities for players now. I think it's probably down to the players to decide where their laurels lie, basically. Are they going to go WDF? Are they going to do ADC? Are they going to do... And they have to prioritise which one they're going to do. For me, I'm kind of seeing it as I've never been to America, so I fancy going to Las Vegas, and my wife's always wanted to go to Las Vegas, and we've never had the opportunity before, and that seems to be a big excuse at the moment.
So you're pleased Mitchell Lowry's not going then?
No, I think I'd love to play Mitchell Lowry. Why would Scott Mitchell and Mitchell Lowry? It's like, it makes me sound like I've got two first names. It's great. And he's a good kid too. He's a great lad.
How good can he be?
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. Honestly, I've got another couple of years left in me, and then I'm going to sit on the sidelines. I'm going to commentate on all of it as much as I can, if I'm allowed. And I can't wait to watch Mitchell develop. But there's loads of others there. There's loads of others that are coming through. It's a really, really exciting time for darts with the way that the academies are coming through and the players are coming through. I'm kind of pleased I'm at the end of my days because there are some really good kids out there.
Scott, it's a pleasure catching up with you here in Bournemouth. Thank you very much as always.
You're welcome, mate.